money to. And their goal is to help destabilize the United States. So you've got an interesting union between people who would deny and pass a lie detector when they said, I don't want any harm to come to the United States. I love my country. I just think these people should be here. They'll pass a lie detector. They really mean it. And they are united with people who are, if they said, yes, I want to destabilize the United States, I want to see it crumble, I want to become a world member, I want to destroy the fundamental free market system inside of it, they'd also pass a lie detector. So you have two groups that are antithetical in their core belief coming together to fight against the most wide-scale, broadest roundup of illegals that we have ever seen. So take that in totality, and I think then it makes some sense. I mean, in those groups of protesters, you know, that are gathered around, well, the now removed fence that's become so infamous here in Chicago, don't think that it's a monolithic block. There's two different kinds of folks there. They just seem to all be acting as one, but their motivations are very, very different.
Very interesting. You're right. It's almost like the Queers for Palestine thing, you know, like, yeah, okay, great. You're gay and you support Palestine, but good luck, you know, vacationing there next summer. And, you know, right. Walking down the beach with your boyfriend holding hands. It's not going to work out well.
Right.
So, yeah, we see a lot of that in the left where in these different, you know, factions where, yeah, you're very correct. They don't necessarily agree on much of anything, but they can on this one thing. And then but the violence, man, two illegal immigrants rammed their car into an ICE agent's vehicle the other day. And there was a shootout, and the police in Chicago were told to stand down.
Right.
And this just seems so dangerous and so unnecessary. And I don't know. I wish there was a way we could figure out how to make this all happen. What Trump did in Washington, D.C. was brilliant. It worked like a charm. It took him like a week. And now Washington is apparently a much, much safer place to walk around, from what I understand. So, I don't know, some of the policies work, some of them don't. But at the end of the day, I would like to see the rhetoric kind of tone down on some of this stuff. And when they're actually going after some pretty bad people, maybe stand down on that. If you want to go to, you know, someone's house in the middle of the night and try to arrest, you know, a family guy who has been here for 10 years, has 2 kids, and, you know, has held down a great job the whole time. And, you know, that's not what I'd like to see them going after, but I think that's what most of the protesters think is happening. Again, on a lie detector test, they would tell you that. So,
yeah, here's something. Allow me to say something extraordinarily harsh to the folks that are 20 miles to my south in the city of Chicago. And, you know, you talked about Washington, D.C. And, of course, we're waiting to see if and when the National Guard actually do get deployed into Chicago, and when they do, what they actually do. Now, I've been calling for the governor of the state of Illinois to deploy the National Guard since 2014. So I'm a little bit ahead of the curve here because of the crime in the city. I think that having a governor deploy the National Guard makes perfect sense. But that's the governor, and that's who's supposed to do it. And that would mean that the governor, who's elected by the people in the state of Illinois, decided to do it, and the people who voted for him would be then behind it, by definition, in a sense. Trump doesn't have the authority to deploy the National Guard in the city of Chicago the same way the governor does, and I don't want him to do it. I don't like seeing our constitutional system upended even for a moment in time. But I just said I'm in favor of the National Guard being deployed. Why wouldn't I want it deployed? Well, it's not being deployed the right way. If it's not going to be deployed the right way, then I don't want it deployed. And somebody could say, but the people in Chicago are suffering. And my response is, exactly. And they deserve to be. It is the people of the city of Chicago that elect a mayor every 4 years. It is the people in the city of Chicago who drive the overall election outcomes at the state level. It ain't the folks in Southern Illinois electing J.B. Pritzker. It's the people in Cook County, and it's the people in the city of Chicago. So right now, the people in that city are getting exactly what they deserve. They voted for it. And that sounds awfully cruel. It might be. It also happens to be true. So if the people of the city of Chicago, if any of them don't like what's taking place with regard to this threat of the crime rates and all the chaos in the city, I have a solution. Vote differently next election. Vote to change this. Quit voting for politicians that do exactly what they tell you they're going to do. Brandon Johnson's doing exactly what he said he would do. So is J.B. Pritzker. Chicago elected them. This was their choice. They chose this. So, all out of sympathy. All out of sympathy.
Yep.